at the beginning of summer, like, we was getting ready for a trout and trip and stuff like that, and I used to notice that my hip would lock up, and I started losing weight while I had a growth spurt. So we went to the family doctor. He ordered a CAT scan for 2 days later in Stephenville, and that's when the tumor showed up on the CAT scan. What I was going through my mind was pretty much that my life was over with, like I was finished and going to die, and like I was just pretty much a terrible wreck for it because it was 2 days before my 16th birthday.
It was a complete shock when Taylor phoned. I did call Dean, and I told him, I said, Dean, I said, it's a tumor. And he got very, very upset on the phone.
I was in Alberta at the time. I left work right away.
When I first got home, after I found out I had cancer from a family doctor, I took my father's quad and I wanted to be alone a little bit, just let the family chill down and let me get away from the tears myself a little bit, right? And I parked the quad and I just sat there and pretty much thought everything over for a good half hour until one of my friends came and had checked on me. So I told him pretty much plain and plumb after I got myself together that I don't want no more tears, I don't want no crying, I want everybody just to be happy and like support everything. They pretty much told me that I was going to have to take chemo for a nice little while, and they prepared me for the worst. They told me I was going to be very sick.
In Brandon's case, he had very advanced disease in his pelvic bones, and specifically in his left iliac wing. And this is a CAT scan of that same bone, which clearly shows that there's all kinds of what we can see as calcification here on the inside of the pelvis, and even on the outside of the pelvis. And I think that everybody can appreciate that on this side of the pelvis, everything looks nice and smooth and regular, whereas over here, everything looks very irregular and bumpy and so on. This is all the cancer. So this was a huge tumor. Because of that involvement of all of these kind of extra bony structures, there was no really good option for trying to save his leg.
Well, at first I was, like anybody would be, crying and like, again, thinking that, well, your life is over, you're going to be in a wheelchair or you're going to be on crutches for the rest of your life and stuff like that. And that would be all right, long as I would be still alive.
Because of the level of his disease, it was so advanced, it came right back to his tailbone and involved the nerves. We actually had to do this thing called a hemipelvectomy, which is taking away his entire leg as well as half his pelvic bone. And ultimately, Brandon did incredibly well. He was on the floor over his Christmas holidays. He had this surgery done in early December. And by New Year's, he was out on his skidoo, which is incredible if you think about it. 1, to emotionally get over it. 2, to get physically over it, and then 3, to have the confidence to get out and just do something that everybody else would do, which is get on a skidoo. I think it just goes to show how much support he had from his family. The physiotherapist who was working with him here at the Janeway got him going very early in the game. You know, up and around walking, or hopping, I guess, with crutches and one leg just a few days after his surgery. So it really was incredible, actually. Even though he is cancer-free at the present time, for the next 4.5 years, Brandon's going to be making trips to the Janeway for x-rays and CAT scans and physical examinations and so on.
For a year at the Janeway, for what he done for me, is just, you can't describe words. That there's nothing that would describe that what he done for me and all the help to give me. I just can't thank him enough for everything and what they're still doing.
I wish there was no such thing as cancer, especially in kids.
I could say I wish it never happened at all. But I guess it happens for a reason, and hopefully what he's going through will help someone else when they go through it.
My goal is to live a 2-legged life with 1 leg.